Yoo-hoo! Zach, I'm so proud of you. We're going 7.6 knots, 7.7. A delivery of what, Zach?
Dungeness crabs.
Wow. The real reason I didn't make the crossing. We may have been also keeping another little secret from you guys for a little while. Wow, what a time it's been. We are reunited on board Tay-Lee, our boat in Victoria, after almost 5 weeks apart. Zach, Scott and John absolutely smashed the crossing from Mexico to Canada, and we couldn't have asked for better crew or a better passage, even if they did have an unexpected detour to Astoria to dodge a storm last week. Anyway, it's time to say goodbye to Scott now, as he has a flight to catch. But make sure to watch until the end for some pretty exciting news. Any final words?
Thank you so much for having me. It was an absolute pleasure coming on this amazing trip, and yeah, it was fantastic.
Oh,
That's
well,
all I can say.
no, it was an honour that you could join Zach and do this trip. That's it, all the crew are gone.
I know, it's a weird feeling. Pretty weird.
And you're here.
Yeah. I think it's going to take a couple more days for it to fully sink in where we are, but...
It feels strange when you spend a month with someone in close quarters and then they go.
Yeah. Been a good, the boat did really well though, crew did amazingly. I think we picked really well with everything that we did, so...
And the sun is shining for you, so...
Yeah, well, it's so nice here. It's like a nice warm as well. A really nice temperature, but...
And look, Teek's very much at home.
Yeah, he's settled right back in. It's like he never left. Hey?
That is a cat of leisure.
Oh, okay.
Teek. He like loves it. That's the
He's
issue.
very gentle.
Funny. Did it. You made it to Canada. Congratulations. Good morning!
I made it in. Scott left yesterday, so it's just us two again.
We're back together, reunited. It feels amazing to be in Victoria, honestly. We've really dreamt about this for a really long time. We're actually not here for a very long time because we want to get moving, we want to get seeing things, and my brother comes here and we are going to leave tomorrow. Teek keeps jumping onto the dock and making a run for it, so I think we're going to head to an anchorage. There's a yacht club around the bay, which we've been chatting to some people there. So tomorrow we're going to get the ebb out and we're going to go on anchor because we've been really missing that.
Yeah, and then your brother arrives at the end of the week as well.
Saturday. So we're going to show him some of the area and we're excited, really excited to be here. We hope you enjoyed the previous video of the crossing. It was a pretty big one, wasn't it? So yeah, come along to Canada. Welcome to Canada, basically. And we can't wait to explore with you. It's so funny. We have the red arrows in the UK. In Victoria, they have
Taxi boats.
the taxi boats doing tons.
Harbour tours.
And there's this big boat wanting to leave and they can't leave because they're doing synchronised taxi boating to music.
It's actually very good though. They've really practiced this routine. Oh God, what's going on? Look at the crowds up here as well. There are hundreds of people watching this. I didn't explain it when we were coming in here the other day, but this whole central area of the Victoria Harbour is actually a runway for seaplanes, which is really unusual for us to see. I don't think I've ever seen a seaplane back home in the UK, but there's tons around here. But that whole central bit, if you're a larger boat, you can't transit it whilst they're coming through, but for us, I think it's under 30 tons. You can still go either side and it's fine.
So if you wouldn't mind just grabbing this line.
Yep.
And just holding it, and all we're going to do is just walk back. Just walk back with them, basically. I'll have the stern line,
Okay.
and then we'll just make sure we're well clear of this boat, and then we'll spring the back out and push out that way.
Okay, that sounds great.
There's no wind, so there's.
Thank you for all your content online.
Have you seen the videos?
Yes, I have seen.
That's
a few of them.
amazing.
Not all of them, but yes.
That's awesome.
I
Well,
really
thanks for
appreciate
watching.
everybody who does the content.
Alright. Yeah. Okay. I should be good with the line now. Thank you so much.
Welcome. Safe
Have a-
travels.
Yeah. Have a lovely day.
Thank you. Where are you guys heading this time?
And Victoria Yacht Club.
Oh, nice.
So not far.
Yeah.
Just 10 miles. So
Enjoy.
thank you.
Take care.
Gorgeous, Zach. I know. Wow. You're so good. We're off. Let's go see Canada. Zach, I'm so proud of you. That was so good. Like, I really am proud. You just like smash it every time. That's wild.
Yeah, there's a lot going on here, isn't there?
Oh, it feels great to be out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yoo-hoo! That's awesome. It's definitely a cold wind today, but we are off just 10 miles from Victoria City to Victoria Yacht Club, which actually has an anchorage. That looks pretty nice. So yeah, we're very excited to get out of the city, get going. I was so surprised at how good it felt just to be moving. And obviously I knew it would feel good, but it really, really felt good. I guess it didn't really feel like I was back on the boat. Well, we were just in a marina, never quite does. You always feel like you're kind of in a floating apartment in a marina. Which is why we always prefer to anchor, because she feels like a boat on anchor, and we love that. And yeah, it feels great to get going. We've got the tide with us, so we're going 6.5 knots, which is lovely. And we've got some weaving to do through a few reefs and islands and things like that. So yeah, there's not a ton of wind. We're actually heading into it right now, but yeah, it's going to be just a couple of hours round to the yacht club. Coming out, there was actually a seaplane taxiing, and it was just right there, and we've never had that before on the boat. So that was really cool, and something we're definitely going to have to get used to around these Gulf Islands. The water's turbulent. You okay?
Whoa, that's not me. You see that?
Yeah. You got control again?
Yeah.
We're going 7.6 knots, 7.7.
So I don't mind the speed boost though.
Yeah. The water looks so nutrient dense. Thanks. It's good. Yeah, it's
Pretty special.
great to be here.
Yeah.
Hello, we are
In Victoria. Zach is on the boat and it feels so good after, I think we were apart for about 5 weeks in the end. So, you guys asked us some questions on last week's video and we're here to answer them. You had some great questions. Unfortunately, we couldn't answer all of them. However, we've picked about 10 to 12 questions.
We've chosen a lot of common ones that multiple people ask, so
Yeah.
without further ado.
Let's get into it. The first question is, what is taking a reef on a sail? Love your videos and keep bloody doing it. Thank you for supporting the channel and asking this question, it's a good one. So for those that don't sail, taking a reef on a sail is essentially making the sail smaller. And that's for when there's a lot of wind, you want to reduce sail area in order to slow the boat down and also make the boat more manageable, easier to handle.
You want less stress on the rig as well, because if you've got full canvas up or full sails up in, I don't know, kind of 50 knots or so, or like a lot of wind, it would put a lot of strain on the bottom of the mast and the chain plates and kind of stuff like that. And so there's kind of tolerances that a lot of things that you kind of take reefs to. So for us, we normally start putting in our first reefs around 20 knots or so, and then after that you kind of steadily kind of progress through the reefs, depending on how strong it is. And the last thing that we would end up reefing is our head sail normally. And when we say shaking out a reef, it means that you take a reef out the sail and make it bigger again when the wind's got lighter.
Yeah, and some boats you can be in the cockpit taking a reef, that's the safest way to do it. For all of our sails except our main, you can do that from the cockpit, but for our main you do have to go to the mast and actually pull the sail down. So that is what taking a reef is, for those that don't know.
Do we ask the next one?
Yeah.
Did anything break on the crossing? There were a few things. There was one thing that we didn't actually notice until a good bit further along. When we were putting the spinnaker up for the second time, I don't know what broke when, but there were two things on the mast that ended up breaking. Nothing too significant. One of them was the halyard from the spinnaker, I'm fairly sure, got caught around the steaming light and ripped it off, and just we heard something smack hit the dinghy and then plunk into the sea. Didn't see what it was because it happened so quickly, but I'm fairly sure that went flying off then.
Just the cover of the steaming light.
Yeah, just the cover. I don't know if it was that or the other way around. And then the second thing, like kind of more major thing that broke, was our halyard deflector for our inner head sail. And for those who don't know what a halyard deflector is, because it's a bit of a niche thing and not many people know what it is, where the halyard goes around the top of the mast, there's a big pulley at the top there. It goes down towards the top of the furlex that we've got and attaches to that. But to get the angle right for it, there's a kind of a little attachment on the mast where it goes through a bit lower down, so it doesn't go at an angle like that. It goes down a little bit from the top of the mast and then at a diagonal. And that ripped all three of its rivets out and went flying. And I don't really understand how it did it. I don't know if the rivets we got weren't great or something like that. I don't know what happened with it. Maybe we installed it badly or something like that. But it's not a significant thing. I need to repair it and put a new one in there at some point. But we sailed, I think, most of the way without it. But we reef pretty conservatively on the boat and kind of tend to over reef than under reef most of the time.
And that for the main reason is so we arrive with a boat that isn't broken. For us, it's a marathon, not a sprint. So that's one of the reasons why we sail conservatively on offshore crossings.
Yeah, and for us, like if something breaks, like a sail or a mast or a chain plate, getting that fixed can almost be as long as the crossing sometimes, because it's kind of, you've got to go to the right places to get it done, and you can be waiting weeks somewhere to get the right part or get something fixed.
And if we wanted to get somewhere quickly, we'd fly, not sail.
Or
Simple
drive, or just anything else.
Anyway, the next question is a pretty big one, and that is, the real reason I didn't make the crossing. Now, my knee isn't great, and it hasn't been great for a year now. It's no secret. It's not stable enough to go offshore. However, we may have been also keeping another little secret from you guys for a little while, and it was another reason why I couldn't do the crossing. So
For a long while now.
For a long while now. So that secret is we're having a baby. And it's been such a tough thing to keep secret because people have been commenting, oh, but her knee, I'm seeing her hike, and I'm like, you have no idea. I would have done the crossing, and I wanted to do the crossing, and we reached out to some medical professionals for advice. Should you do the crossing in your first trimester? And the simple answer is no. If anything goes wrong, if you're 1,000 miles offshore, it's not great, and I wouldn't want to risk myself or the baby or, you know, anyone else having to get me onto another ship to be taken back to land. It just isn't worth it.
And the added stress and everything like that probably isn't worth it. And it is like, it can be fairly demanding. I mean, if you did come along and you were pregnant, we probably wouldn't have got you to do really too much in terms of like kind of night watches or anything like that. But it's still demanding on your body, being like constantly moved around and like in bigger seas and all of that kind of stuff. So it just wasn't really worth it for us, for Becca to come along on this one.
Yeah, there's plenty more sails I can do in the future. But we are very, very excited. We are expecting a baby at Christmas time. So I'm officially in my second trimester. I did feel a little bit rough for a couple of months there, didn't I? But I'm getting through it, and honestly, we're just very excited, aren't we?
You've got a bit of a bump now.
I have a bit of a bump, so you'll be seeing that from now on in the videos. And yeah, can't wait. But that is one of the reasons. A few people guessed it, actually.
Yeah.
We were hoping not too many people would guess, but there we go. The news is out.
There's been a couple.
Yeah. And just on that, another question was, how often did you talk to Becca on your trip, and what was her month like?
I'll talk about how often I talk to you, and then you can talk about your month.
Sounds good.
That makes more sense. We had kind of two forms of main communication we were using. We had the Starlink, which wasn't on all the time. I probably had it on every 2-3 days. It can get a little bit expensive for it. And then nearer the end, I think it was like kind of most days we were turning it on. And then every single morning we had a Iridium Go. Was it?
No,
oh no,
Garmin,
the InReach.
Garmin
Garmin InReach that we were using for like kind of our backup communication. And I would send an update pretty much every morning on that to Becca, just saying like, we're all good, the night was fine, yada yada yada, and kind of that had all our live tracking and information. So pretty regularly on the crossing. I think most people nowadays will kind of talk to people back home or kind of have updates like that fairly often now, because it's just so easy to have it.
Really different than our Atlantic, because we had the Iridium on our Atlantic. We spent a small fortune on that thing, and we honestly contacted people every few days, and it was one email. And that was it. And so this was quite different and very nice, reassuring. Obviously the Starlink can drop out a little bit when the weather's rough, but for the most part it was great. So my month, I was hopping around kind of all over the place really with Teak. I started off in Vancouver with Zach's brother and our sister-in-law, and then I went down to Seattle and I stayed with a couple, Paddy and Tom, who are legends, who we actually met on a boat in Chiapas when we were there during hurricane season. And they just said, if you're ever in Seattle, come visit. So I said, absolutely, I'd love to see Seattle. And I stayed with them for, I think, 8 days or so. And they then had some friends that they were cruising with in Panama who owned a house on Pender. And I went and stayed with them afterwards. That just shows the cruising community spreads so far, even when you're not even on the boat. So I stayed with these other cruisers I'd never met in their house in Pender Island with Teak. And that's actually when I met Maya and Aladino through Magic Carpet. So that was really fun. They were all kind of mutual friends.
Their daughter went to school with her.
Yeah, so it was really cool and fun. And then I did one night with Sheila and Lyle, who watched the channel actually, and I stayed with them in Victoria. So it was a whole mixture, and I was so grateful for people just welcoming me into their homes. They honestly just gave me such a lovely home from home experience.
It all worked out really well in the end, didn't it?
It did, and especially as I was pregnant, it was just so nice that I had kind of familiar faces and strangers were welcoming me into their homes. So the next question that you can answer is, what is this, Zach?
this is our Q flag, and for those who don't know what a Q flag is, we've had this one for a while now, haven't we?
Yeah.
But this is when we arrive into countries and you haven't checked in. So when you normally go through an airport or go over a border, you'll go through security straight away. But obviously coming in a boat, they're not going to have like a border guard or someone checking your passport as you cross the territorial waters. You've got to get into a port, and when you enter territorial waters, which is about 40 miles offshore, you're meant to put this up on your starboard side by itself, no other flags on that side. And then when you get in and you've checked in and you've seen all the customs and everything like that, sometimes they'll tell you to remove it after that, and you put it down and then you put up the country courtesy flag after that. And so it's basically telling officials that you're there and you haven't checked in yet, because otherwise you could just potentially just turn up and then be like, oh, I've only been here like a day. So this is used to signal that they've just arrived and haven't checked in yet.
Yeah, so it's also, I think you said this, the Q flag means quarantine. So until we've been seen by people, we're quarantined and you technically can't leave the boat. And then the next question is, are you going to come to Vancouver?
Yes, we are at some point going to come to Vancouver. We're not too sure when at the moment, but we are definitely going to visit that area.
I don't know if we've explained. Actually, was this a question? What's your route? I don't know if it is, but we'll just to say anyway, we're actually heading from Victoria through the Gulf Islands across to see some of Zach's family on the Sunshine Coast, and then we're going to go up to Desolation Sound and Princess Louisa Inlet and then come back down, and I think we'll end up in Vancouver in maybe September, but it's all to be confirmed yet.
Yeah.
But we'd like to see Vancouver.
Yeah, for sure.
Next question is, have any other countries inspected Tay-Lee to this degree? Now, whenever we arrive to a country, we are fully expecting to be searched and have all of our documents checked. We've never ever arrived to anywhere without everything in order. We always follow every country's protocol to the T. And when Zach arrived to the US, he was expecting to be searched, obviously, because it was a safe haven pull-in. Any country would do that, rightly so. So we haven't had the boat turned upside down like that before. The only other times we've been searched was coming into Mexico. They put a dog on the boat and just let it sniff around. We had one person in Costa Rica come on to look for agricultural products like meat and dairy products.
Colombia, we had a couple of people on board, but they had a very quick look around. It was more just a tick box exercise there than anything. Aruba was the only other place where they actually went in kind of places and opened up, but they didn't even go in the front cabin there, did
Yeah,
they?
so
they kind of had to brush around.
They were looking for alcohol in Aruba, unbottled alcohol, because alcohol is quite expensive in Aruba. They don't want people bringing their own unsealed bottles in to sell.
And then pretty much all of the Caribbean, no one actually came on board the boat, did they?
No, so from the UK to Aruba, we hadn't had one person step on the boat.
Or Europe, did they? Or Cape Verde, no one came on board, did they?
So there's the answer to that. Make of that what you will.
It's such a mixed bag.
Exactly. But we always expect it, and we always have everything ready for them if they do. Next question. How is Teak doing? Would he have liked the passage?
Teak's doing great. He's sleeping on Becca's wetsuit at the moment, outside. No, probably short answer. He would have been fine on the passage, and I think he would have dealt with it absolutely fine. But we wouldn't have allowed him to really go outside because he has got a life jacket, and so we would have allowed him to go out occasionally and like kind of holding him or make sure he was clipped in. But when we sail with him at the moment or motor with him, he tends to just kind of sleep on the bed and stay pretty chilled out. He's really good when we kind of go along anywhere. But I think the 26 days away, I don't think he would have enjoyed it as much as he did being with Becca, because he had a lot more freedom there.
He's a young, energetic cat, and he loves being out on deck, bounding around, jumping into the dinghy. I don't think it would have been fair to take him and kind of kept him inside.
Although it would have been really nice on some night watches to have him as company.
Okay, the next question is, did you do rig checks every day?
I did them most days. I think when we had kind of rougher weather, I guess when that gale off California and we got the clip by the end of that, we weren't doing rigging checks every single day because I didn't really want to be on the foredeck kind of like looking up and looking all around. But we did do them very regularly. I was checking split pins every day, I was checking turnbuckles every single day, going around checking there wasn't any like cracks anywhere or anything like that, and we were pretty on with doing it. But I would get binoculars sometimes and kind of look up the masts. And
that's a hack, actually, binoculars.
Yeah. Because
I don't think we did that on the Atlantic. We did very thorough rigging checks every day on the Atlantic, but we never used binoculars, so that is a really good little tip if you don't want to go up a mast on passage.
And I was checking chafing on the lines a lot because obviously we are on a starboard tack for like 90%, so the Genoa lines on this side got way more worn than this side. That side looks almost brand new, so you see the difference between these two. So I was keeping an eye on that a lot. I was almost going to switch around the Genoa sheets so they got more worn, but they didn't get to a point where I was too concerned about them. So yeah.
That's the answer to that one. What did you do to cure boredom?
So we did a lot of different things, a lot of reading. I had loads of movies downloaded and stuff like that as well. We were fishing here and there as well, cooking and cleaning and all those kind of things kind of come into it as well. And a lot of the days we were reefing and unreefing sails a lot. So between all of that, there wasn't kind of tons of time to do your own thing. You kind of fill your time and you kind of get to the end of each day and you're like, you don't really know where the day's gone. Like it gets to like 5 or 6 when we're having dinner and we're like, wow, like it just disappeared again. So you do kind of get into a routine.
The last question is, how did you select crew? This is a great question, and as you know, if you've watched the previous videos, we reached out to YouTube community, we reached out to our Patreon community, and we also put it on a few crew finder groups and Instagram, friends of friends, things like that. The biggest thing about crew, at least from our experience, is we prefer to have someone who's hardworking, friendly, kind and tidy than we would an excellent sailor and lots of offshore experience. Zach definitely mentioned that it's nice to have people who own their own boat because they have the respect for the vessel and the understanding of how things work on board.
Yeah, and like we've done a handful of offshore passages now. I mean, we've done a number of ones that are kind of closer to a week and then a handful which are kind of closer to 10 days or over 10 days now. So we know the boat and know how she handles offshore and what to do in most situations now, don't we? So it's kind of more... We were more looking for people who could split night watches and kind of help around the boat and be good company. So that's kind of the main things we were looking for.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference between having 2 people and having 3 people on a passage. Yeah. When it's me and Zach, we become passes in the night. We don't really see each other that much because while one person's sleeping, one person's sailing and vice versa, and you're passing each other. Whereas on the Atlantic, when we had crew, it was really nice to be able to actually spend some time together, and it does just take off the brunt of the 3 or 4 hour long watches multiple times a night, because if there are multiple people, you do less of those. So that's kind of how we find crew. But there's tons of crew finding pages. I know there's crew finders and lots of Facebook groups, and I know some of these apps also do crew searches like Sea People and things like that. So yeah, I think that's all the questions.
Yeah, I think that's everything.
There's a lot in there, and I know it's very long, so if you've watched to this point, thank you. I know there was just a lot of information to cover, but we're very excited to be heading up and exploring this area, really. Now Zach's in, we can really get kind of cranking the miles on the inside passages.
And we're obviously very excited for December and the new crew member joining us then.
New crew member.
Exciting times ahead.
Yeah, very exciting.
Thank you so much.
Literally just pulled it out of the water. And I saw him, I thought, oh, shit.
Oh my god, thank you so much.
A delivery of what, Zach?
Dungeness crabs.
Wow.
Oh my god.
That's awesome. Thank you.
These look like edible crabs from back home. That's what we call them.
That's what they're called?
Yeah.
They're super, super tasty.
Wow.
And then, I don't know, like Connie and I just dip it in butter, or
garlic butter.
Some guys make crab cakes with them.
Ooh.
Right? Take all the meat and then do a little pan fry crab cake.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Anyways, a little
thank you so much.
Oh my god, thank you so much.
No, you're welcome.
It'll
be fun.
We've got to stop Teak from getting to them.
Yeah.
There's another one there.
They're beautiful.
That's great.
Male and male, I think.
Yeah, he's not pleased.
Yeah,
wow.
you can't take the females, right?
Oh, you can't take the females here?
No.
Oh, interesting.
No, only the males. You can't take the females.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
And they have to be that certain size. So those are really, really healthy dungies.
Beautiful.
Nice.
And just from this bay here, they just pulled them out.
Yeah, he's just right there up front there. So.
Cool.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I don't know how they react. Why isn't he scared of it?
I'm scared. Because it's so foreign. There's some salt water in his nose.
He's just watching.
But you see those videos of the cats jumping in the fish tanks?
So I've just dispatched them and taken the knuckles off, and it was pretty easy doing that. You basically just twist and pull them out. And what we're going to do now is put this in this big new pot that we just got the other day and steam it in salt water for 8 minutes or so. But I can't wait.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
And all I'm going to do now is just remove the dead man's fingers, which are these, which is basically his gills, which you can't eat because they're bad for you. But everything else on there is really good. So the knuckles, legs, and claw, there's got all the meat in it.
Nice. And Teague is very fascinated.
Yeah, he is.
You'll have to try some.
It's just finished cooking. I've just tried a little bit just to make sure it is cooked, and it is beautiful. So I'm gonna get this out and cool it down before breaking it all apart.
Tell me what you just called that chopping board on there.
A good crab station.
Yeah, you did. Good crab station.
It is working quite well, this sink for this.
Are you using the tin opener?
Yeah, we don't have any other crackers, and so that in between there is quite good.
That's funny. Have a helper.
It's not really doing much though.
You might be funny about taking it out your head. We can't wait for this next chapter in our journey. Thank you all for following along and watching and supporting us. Until next time.